Harold Wilson said that a week is a long time in politics, and we're 3 weeks away. Are you looking at the Middle East, or are you looking at some domestic surprises? What would be the kind of surprise? I know it's a surprise, but what would you bet on?
Well, internationally, we're sure to have surprises in the Middle East. And we need to remember the guy who is stirring the Middle East pot to a greater degree than anybody else is Benjamin Netanyahu. And Prime Minister Netanyahu very clearly and openly wants Donald Trump to win. So I would expect him to do something that would put the Biden-Harris administration in a bad light and help Donald Trump. I can't tell you precisely what that is.
Of course.
It's cooking in Netanyahu's mind.
Geopolitics obviously is important. But let's talk about more politics. The vice presidency is always said to be a heartbeat away from the presidency. Let's talk about the two vice presidential candidates. Let's talk about Tim Walz first. I mean, to me, studying US history, Walz strikes me as the Sarah Palin of 2008. Is that too harsh an assessment?
Oh, I wouldn't call him Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin's in a class by herself, and probably always will be in terms of being unprepared for the national role, much less being vice president. And sure enough, she's faded from the scene entirely because she couldn't sustain her popularity to the extent that she had it. But I would say Walz was a weak choice. Turns out he wasn't as weak as the Republican choice. Both of these candidates picked poorly. Obviously, to everybody in politics here, Kamala Harris should have picked the governor of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro. I mean, she wouldn't have to worry about Pennsylvania now. Duh, exactly. duh.
I agree with you. I mean,
they didn't get along. They didn't get along in that interview. Or he came on too strong. That's what I've been told by one of the people who knew.
But Larry, I mean, would you trust Coach Walsh? He's a great guy. He's a good governor, perhaps, good football coach. But would you trust him with the nuclear keys?
Yes, because I don't think he'd use them. And to me, that's the primary criterion. You don't want somebody in there who would actually use them, which is what people worry about with Trump, though he didn't in his first 4 years. I don't know why that would change, because after all, he has a big family. Some of those family members wouldn't survive either. I mean, it comes down, as I said, to Donald Trump. What benefits Donald Trump?